Which day you sweat, that day you don't get old, they said in Russia. And indeed, the Slavs have always had a special attitude to the bath. Many historians believe that it was its presence, and the bathhouse was a mandatory attribute even of poor peasant houses, that helped our country avoid many devastating epidemics that regularly raged in Europe. But even here there were rules, taboos, prohibitions. Even with the advent of orthodoxy in Russia, our ancestors continued to remain superstitious people. However, this was the case everywhere until recently. According to beliefs, the bathhouse was the abode of the bannock, the spirit of the bathhouse, something similar in its functions to the brownie. He was a strict and clean host who did not like to be disturbed or disrespected. In order for the bannock to wash, soap and a jug of water were always left for him. The spirit, our ancestors believed, washed after midnight. Those who also wanted to take a steam bath at night, the bannock could crush, that is, let off a frenzy. And then there will be no time to wash. I would like to take my feet away. He did not forgive the bannock and non-compliance with the order. It was believed that he preferred to wash in the third turn or in the third steam, as they said then. Therefore, we visited the bathhouse in 2 queues. It was not worth going there for the third time. The bannock could be offended. The leprosy of the spirit could be different, depending on the mood. He could tickle, let a couple, or even scald with boiling water from a tub so that the skin would blister. By the way, the order of going to the bath was strictly observed between men and women. Representatives of the stronger sex washed first, and women, only after them. The fact is that from time immemorial, a woman has been considered a sinful and unclean being. She wasn't even allowed to attend church all the time. In Russia, it was believed that after steaming women in the bath, all the diseases and sins washed away by them remain. If a man washes next, then he risks picking up all this good. Drinking in the bath is highly discouraged by modern doctors. Alcohol in combination with a high temperature will not lead to anything good. Our ancestors also knew this, but they explained it in their own way. They say that the bannock does not tolerate alcohol. So, it will certainly punish fans to aggravate in the steam room. It can be fastened with a broom or scalded with hot water, or even completely peel off the skin and pull it on the ceiling. It is understandable. For those who were burned or hit by drunkenness, it was easier to explain the injuries not by their clumsiness, but by the tricks of the bannock. Careful with the stones. Didn't we already say that bannock does not tolerate any disrespect? Therefore, it was allowed to water the stones only with clean well or spring water, so that the spirit would not be offended. To use dirty water or, God forbid, to spit on the stones, to inflict an unbearable offense on the owner. Bannock could spit in response. From his spitting, according to legend, burns, wounds, boils appeared on the body. Not only that, the brooms for the bath were knitted only during the full moon, and even with a special slander, our ancestors did not use someone else's broom after someone. It was believed that in this way it was possible to instill someone else's ailments or even an unhappy fate. And, doctors will confirm, there is a logic to this belief. Although the bathhouse, on the one hand, was a shelter of purity in Russia, at the same time it was considered an unclean place. Therefore, accessories from the bath, soap, tub or bucket, were never taken into the house. And so as not to bring the disease, and so as not to offend the bannock, who suddenly wants to steam.